Hi, I'm Katie. I'm at Spruce Meadows for 4 weeks this summer, and I brought my horse Nougat du Valais, who I just competed in the Grand Prix this afternoon. I have another horse named Vancouver, who will do the meter 50 class tomorrow. A horse named Culetto K. James, who will be showing in the meter 45 class tomorrow, and a horse named Sandro, who this week did the junior amateur division, but will hopefully move up into some of the FEI classes the last 2 weeks.
And the first horse, Nugget.
Yes.
What's his nickname?
We call him either Nugget or Nunu, or sometimes Flying Nunu because he jumps very high. Well, I love them all, but he's the one who's going to be doing the big Grand Prix classes this summer. So he's a superstar. He's pretty mellow. He's very sweet. He's really cuddly. He's just kind of a cool guy. He's really sweet, and he's very quiet when you ride him at home. When he goes into the ring, he perks up a little bit, and when he sees the jumps are big, he gets his engine rolling, but he's pretty mellow guy who just likes to jump really high. So I won my first FEI Grand Prix on him this past winter. That was really exciting. It was one of probably the best days of my life so far. I mean, I'm not going to say totally unexpected. I wasn't really expecting to win that Grand Prix, but obviously everyone hopes to win when they go into the ring, and he'd been going really well up to then, but it was cool because it was our first big Grand Prix together. We had done some meter 45, meter 50 stuff beforehand, but it was the first actual Grand Prix class we had done, and to go in and go clear and then to go into the jump off and win against those riders was definitely confidence building for the rest of the WAF circuit.
Also the current champion of the young riders, right?
Yes, last summer I won on my horse Vancouver, who's here. He was fantastic. I've had him this is my third summer showing him. And the first year I got him, I did him in some small Grand Prix classes and mostly junior jumpers. And then last year I won a national Grand Prix at home with him. And then he won Young Riders over the summer. So he's been a great horse for me.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, I'm very lucky. I trained with McLean Ward, and I've learned so much from him over the last year and a half that I'm so indebted to him and his team because he's brought me so far, and I really look up to him in more ways than just as a rider. When I was about 15, I was doing hunters, jumpers, and equitation. In America, obviously, there's a lot of emphasis on the equitation, and to do it for definitely a good amount of your junior years up until you're 18, and then junior hunters. And I was lucky. I had 2 really nice junior hunters, and that was a great run with them. But when I started training with McLean last year, I made the decision that I loved the hunters, but unfortunately, actually, my hunter died the year before, and so that kind of ended that for me, and I decided that I wanted to just focus doing the jumpers because I thought there was a lot I could improve on, and there was a lot of places to go with that, and I love doing it, and so he really brought me up to the next level. I think they're totally different. I think that the hunters were a great way for me to get competition experience, like riding under pressure. I had a hunter who we brought to Devon, which is a big show in America, and all of our indoors, Harrisburg, Washington, and the National, and it was the first time I'd really been a winner at those shows with him, and that definitely gave me a lot of confidence as a competitor. I think that obviously fundamentals are fundamentals, but it's a big step you make when you start jumping really big jumps and learning how to go fast and training horses to do courses like this.
But mentally, do you have to think much faster?
Yes, and which is, I think, both good and bad. I mean, when you have to think faster, you have less time to not think and to get distracted or to worry about things, and once you're in the ring, you have to make decisions and get it done. On the other hand, it's also harder when you have to make decisions a little faster. So
Yeah, are you the kind of person who sticks with a plan, or do you make a lot of decisions?
I try to stick with the plan. I'm definitely the kind of person that when I go into the ring, I like to know exactly what in an ideal world I'll be doing, because that gives me definitely a sense of assurance. I know what I'm going to do. I just have to execute that. But I also try to, if something doesn't go according to plan, not freeze and work out what's going on at that moment, because plans are great, but sometimes they don't work out, and you have to adjust accordingly.
And also, you're going back to school in Germany. Is that
Yes,
definite?
that's a definite. I'm starting at Harvard the last week of August, which I'm very much looking forward to, but I will definitely miss not seeing my horses every day.
So you're going to give away your horses to our readers, right?
I think there's a long list, but no, I'm keeping them. I'm going to try to manage doing the two things, the riding and the school, as best I can. I think that when I start my first fall as a freshman, I'm going to have to spend the necessary time at school to get reacquainted. I took this year off in between high school and college to focus on the riding, which has helped me tremendously, but I think I'm going to have to reacquaint with school a little bit. But I'm hoping that to do 2 of the indoor shows in America, and then I'm going to hope to come down for a decent amount of WAF. I'm going to be going back and forth. Oh, for young riders this year, if I had any words of wisdom, it would be to just stay calm, relaxed, and focused. Don't think about what other scores people are having in any round, and just go in and ride, because I remember that was the advice McLean gave me. I was coming into the final day on top, and he said, there was a day in between, he just said to me, don't look at any score sheets, don't worry about what anyone else is doing, you still have half the competition left, and just go in and ride. Because I think in a 5-round competition like that, especially with the team event, a lot of times it's easy to get caught up in what everyone else is doing, and that's an unnecessary reason to stress, and just go in and ride like you would ride a normal round. Yes, I do. I'm a big show jumping enthusiast. I probably spend a little too much time watching random horses on the internet, but I like to watch some of the Grand Prix in Europe that they broadcast, and I think I guess like other people follow other sports, it's cool to see who's winning where and who's doing what and who's getting new horses. And there's some like great websites online, including your website, that really has videos and fun stuff and cool athlete interviews. So it's great to see. Well,
Especially this one.
I'm not sure if this one's going to make the cut, but it's great to see like other people who are doing what you're doing and how they watch them ride. I think you can always learn from watching and seeing how other people are doing.
And Sapphire's retirement ceremony, were you there?
I was there at Devon.
It
It was definitely emotional. It was one of those things where I think that it's definitely bittersweet, because I guess on one hand there's nothing really sad about a horse who's had probably one of the most amazing careers in history retiring to a healthy retirement, but of course it's sad because everyone always came to the ring to watch McLean and Sapphire. She was one of those horses where you could count on every day just being perfect, and that's something you don't find that often. And I think even more so is the emotional relationship that McLean has with her, and Erica McKeever, who took care of her. That was like her best friend. So I definitely had a few tears in my eyes during that. It was really nice, and she's an amazing horse, and I don't think she'll be forgotten anytime soon. So
do you guys give donuts all the time to your horses?
I actually have never given my horse a donut, but I guess Sapphire does like donuts, and I noticed that picture became a slight Facebook phenomena. But my horses usually eat apples, carrots, mints. We don't have anything. We don't even anything too out of the box. So.